I finally remembered to do a second video. This is going to be over my portfolio that I submitted to art schools. So I applied to 4 schools. I applied to the Ringling College of Art and Design, which is where I'm attending in about a month, which is exciting. I applied to SCAD, the Savannah College of Art and Design. I applied to the School of the Art Institute of Chicago in Chicago. And I also applied to UT Dallas, which has a very good animation program. I got into all of the schools I applied to. I only submitted a portfolio for the 3 art schools. I wasn't required to submit a portfolio for UT Dallas because the animation program doesn't start until 2nd year, so I wouldn't have needed to submit a portfolio, so I didn't. I don't know if you can hear the fan. I live in Texas and it's hot as balls, so if you see me sweating, that's because I am. Somewhere, I believe next to me on this side, will be the portfolio that you can see it, digitally. You can see the images, but I do have some of the physical pieces with me, and I have it on here so I know what I'm talking about. And as I go through the pieces, I'm also going to talk about my application process, what it was like going through the process of applying to these schools, and also I'm going to talk about some of the pieces that I didn't include in my portfolio and why I didn't include them, as well as why I included some art over others. Another thing, there is some nudity in this video. I'm not getting naked. You're gonna have to subscribe to my OnlyFans for that. I'm kidding, I don't have an OnlyFans, but I might start one because college is expensive. The nudity is figure drawing that was suggested by art schools to put in portfolios to show that I have at least some knowledge of anatomy, and stuff like that. I have a fancy Ringling cup. That also reminds me, I'm also going to be talking about my experience in pre-college that I did with Ringling last summer, and I'm going to talk about my experience and some of the work that I made in pre-college that I used in my portfolio. Really quickly, I'm going to check to see that I am in fact recording, because if I'm not, I'm going to cry. So there's going to be a cut here. Anyway, I'm going to be talking about my first piece. I put it in my opening slide. I included my name, what major I was applying to for Ringling, because Ringling you apply to like a specific major, and my email address, as well as like my phone number, so to show like, oh, I'm super professional. I'm definitely not a senior in high school, but I was a senior in high school, and maybe you are too. And if you are, I'm very sorry, because that's hard. I did this drawing sophomore year in high school. It's colored pencils, Prismacolors, and yeah, I was really proud of it. I put a lot of work into it. That is me. I can confirm that my ass is not this fat in real life. I submitted it into the 2020 National Scholastic Art and Writing Awards. I got a gold key for it, which was for regionals, and then it went on to nationals, where I got a silver medal for drawing and illustration, which I thought was just awesome. So this was a project that I did preparing for AP drawing, which I took junior year. This is a family portrait, but instead of family, it's shoes. A pair of shoes for each member of my family. Please ignore the smudge. Oh, my dog's coming. Hi, Sammy. Say hi, Sammy. This smudge, ignore that. This tear, my cat did that, because he likes to chew paper. He's an absolute menace. Don't step on my drawing, please. Will you please sit? And don't chew that. Don't chew that. If you sit, I'll pet you. Good boy. Okay, so shoes. This is my dad's shoes. These are my shoes. They were some like boots that I thrifted. These are my mom's shoes. Oh, you're stepping on it. I shouldn't have put it on the floor. That's my fault. These are my sister's skates. She also has roller skates. She's much better at roller skating than I am, in fact. I was really proud of this. I did it from observation, so I set up a still life of shoes in front of me, and then I sat my ass on the floor, which is probably why it's so flat, because this took me so long. I sat my ass on the floor with a bunch of charcoals and set myself to do this drawing, which took a couple days. Still lives are really good to do. They show that you have, some knowledge of being able to draw things from eyesight instead of just pictures. It's best to do things from observation, and it's also really good practice, to get in the habit of drawing what you're seeing. And so I recommend that a lot for your portfolio. Now here's where we get to the nudity. I know you guys are probably at the edge of your seat waiting. This whole big sketchbook I decorated with stickers because I love stickers. I'm obsessed with stickers. I have so many sticker books. I decorated it myself from my stickers that I've collected over the years of wasting my money on sticker books from Barnes & Noble. Anyway, that's where I have the physical copies, but it's probably easier to see on the screen because they're on separate pages. That's what I'm gonna do. This will come back because there's some other stuff in here that I have in my portfolio that I have in my sketchbook, to be continued with that. But anyway, yeah, figure drawing is really good. I know that there's a chicken. Now, on Ringling's website, it suggested that for portfolios, you do a mix of animal drawings and gesture, people figure drawings. And I did a chicken. And then I was going to do some more, but I didn't like how they turned out. And so I didn't include them. But I liked the chicken, but it wasn't good enough to put on its own page. So I thought, hey, it's in the realm of figure drawing. I'll put it in with this. But then I realized how ridiculous it looked when I was going through my portfolio and I see, oh, figures, and then there's a chicken. But I think it's silly and a little goofy and was perfect to demonstrate to the college that I am perfect for them. So anyway, yeah, enjoy the look of the nakedness. I might have to blur or censor some of these for YouTube. But if you're seeing this and they're not blurred, then congratulations. Alright, so here's where we're getting into some other stuff that I did. These were drawings that I did for my AP drawing portfolio, which I got a 5 for. AP scores for art are not, exactly 100% your skill level. Doesn't indicate how smart you are or how thoughtful you are when putting together a bunch of pieces and coming up with some deep meaning. I did it because I hate myself and wanted to put myself through torture. So I've got 2 pieces on the slide. One of them's a portrait I did of my sister. I'll show that one first. This is a black and white charcoal drawing I did of my older sister. This one was probably one of the pieces I was most proud of, and just most proud of in general, because I did really well on it. I looked at this and I was like, wow, this is very good, and I was very proud of myself for how well this one turned out. Yeah. And then this one right here, it was Prismacolor colored pencils again. This is me and my sister when we were younger. I did very well in the jeans. I hated doing the jeans, but the way they turned out, I was like, hell yeah, jeans, man. I can do them. And I did do them. I'm gonna check again to see if I'm recording, because I'm gonna cry if I'm not. Let me check. I'm still recording. Alright, that'll be cut out. But anyway, yeah, so that was these two. Alright, now we're getting to the hands and feet. So another thing that Ringling had said on its website, and I'll put that in the link in the description if you're applying to colleges right now or thinking about applying to colleges. Alright, so this is the first one. It might be hard to see on camera because I did it with construction pencils, blue and red construction pencils. But hands and feet were also things they suggested you draw for your portfolio. So I used a website called Line of Action because they have a lot of resources for artists. So you can do time drawings of hands, feet, figure drawings. They have animals as well. I believe you might have to subscribe for that. And this one's just feet. I actually really struggled drawing feet before I actually did this. I sat down and I practiced drawing feet, and I struggled a lot because feet are weird, man. But with practice, I actually liked how some of them turned out. I'm still not really great at drawing feet, but I'm gonna get better. All right, here's my first digital piece. So this was done in pre-college, and now here's where I get to talk a little bit about my pre-college experience. The way it's set up is, or at least set up online, is you take 4 core classes. So you take drawing, you take like graphic design or 2D art, I believe. You do 4D, which is like motion design, and you also do 3D, so like ZBrush and like modeling. This was for one of the immersions, however, so you could choose 2 immersions. I chose visual development for animation and animation. So they were 2 weeks each. In the first 2 weeks I did visual development for animation, and the second 2 weeks I did animation. The first 2 weeks were really great. I learned, we learned about character design, how to, put together like a storytelling image, like with composition and stuff like that. That's what this is, a storytelling image with a character that I designed. We got 3 words. Our assignment was like 3 random words, and you would create a character. I got I got private investigator, violin, astronomer. But I didn't really get to show that he played violin in the one that I did end up choosing. Anyway, I played around with different compositions, and then I tried different lighting things to see what I wanted for my final image. I didn't include my final image just because when I got feedback from some people about how my portfolio looked, and they said they said that they didn't recommend that I include the final storytelling image just because it wasn't my best work, and they could kind of already see it in that one, even though it wasn't like the final drawing. Those were just like lighting samples, but they said it would be repetitive and I didn't need to put it in there, so I didn't. Here's the character design sheet that I did to explore a character. I tried a bunch of different designs. Some of them were cute, some of them, were a little bit more, different styles. I was really exploring that. Alright, this one is another observational piece. So it also recommends you to go in like places in public and you draw, from observation. So I went to a cafe or like coffee shop that had this really cool setup. Like it had like different levels, and I sat there for like an hour and a half, and I just sat there drawing. There's definitely things that I see now that are off, like some of the perspective could be better, but I think I did pretty good for it, and so I included that. Here's another one. I actually don't have this one with me. This one I had done earlier in 2020. I was going on a road trip, and so I was sat in the back seat, and I was bored, so in the car I was drawing the front seat. That's why some of the lines are so shaky. But yeah, that was fun. A good way to spend your time if you're on a road trip and you're getting ready to, apply to colleges sometime. This one was from the drawing immersion. It is a still life of a skull with an avocado and like a couple vases. These were done with HB pencils. This was my final for the core class. Where the hell is it? Alright, well, so I'll do this part. This was a little thumbnail sketch to talk about values. So we did a small thumbnail sketch that wasn't supposed to be super detailed of the scene to kind of show our understanding of the values of the still life. I included that on there because I definitely felt like it showed my understanding of values pretty well. And here's the final one. I did up the contrast so it's easier to see for my portfolio. So I upped the contrast when I actually, put it on the thing. But yeah, I was actually pretty proud of how it turned out. I did well on the final for that. I was not very good at drawing a skull before, but I didn't hate how it turned out. And then the little plant was actually from earlier in the class. We were just doing kind of like warm-ups and practicing, drawing like loosely. It was for quick, very loose sketching, but still having all of the values. And I was really proud of how it turned out. And how loose it was. And this is my last slide. Yeah, this is a Prismacolor colored pencils with a little bit of Posca white marker for like the water highlights. Anyway, I was really proud of how it turned out, especially like the water around the hands and stuff. It took a long time for me to actually like this piece because I struggled a lot with making my clothing look like maybe it was wet. I still don't think it's perfect. The water's really bright and stuff, but I really like how it turned out. And I included it on the last slide because it says, thank you, have a nice day. And that was what I wanted to say. Thank you for reviewing my portfolio. Here's one last drawing to send you on your way with. And then again, I included my email and my phone number. I'm gonna check again to make sure I'm still recording because like I said, like I've said many times, I'm gonna cry if I'm not. Oh, hell yeah. This has been 33 minutes. I just looked over my thing, my video, going over my portfolio. It was freaking 33 minutes. So if this video that you're watching is 33 minutes, I'm sorry. But yeah, now I'm going to talk about my college experience and applying to colleges. Like I said, I applied to Ringling, SCAD, Savannah, School of Art Institute of Chicago, and UT Dallas. I won't talk much about UT Dallas just because, it was definitely a safety school for me, and it was actually the last school that I got into. So I had already pretty much confirmed that I was going to Ringling. So when I got my acceptance email from UTD, I was like, I replied immediately and I was like, I committed to another school and I would like you to, stop considering me for your program so they could consider other people who have applied that they may have waitlisted. So I'm going to go in the order of the ones I was accepted to. I was accepted to SCAD first, and it was really funny because I went down to Savannah for SCAD Day in October, I believe. I went down to Savannah in October for SCAD Day. So I did get accepted to SCAD, and the timing was a little silly. I actually went to SCAD Day the day after I toured Ringling. So we went down to Ringling first, and then on the car ride over to SCAD, I'm just on my phone, going through things. I see an email that was like, congrats, you were accepted to SCAD. And I'm like, oh, this is silly. I'm going to SCAD Day. And then they were like, I actually had submitted a portfolio. So you're not required to submit a portfolio for SCAD, but if you want to be considered for merit-based scholarships based on your art, you should submit your portfolio. And that's what I did. I submitted my portfolio when we got home, so I could be considered for scholarships just in case I didn't get into Ringling or I didn't get into Chicago. So I submitted my portfolio that I had already used to apply to Ringling. Then I waited for a bit, and then one day around Thanksgiving break, I got a call from my admissions counselor at SCAD saying that though I hadn't applied for the scholarship, that I had been chosen to receive it was either Distinguished Scholar or Esteemed Scholar scholarship, and I had not applied for it, but the board of admissions really thought that that was fitting for me, and I was very honored. So it was, it's incredible. It was a $20,000 renewing, like $20,000 a year, so in total $80,000 scholarship, $20,000 a year, and that blew my mind. I had decided, not to go with SCAD eventually, but this definitely changed a lot of what I was thinking. I was like, you know, I'm really hoping I get into Ringling. If I don't get into Ringling, I guess I can choose SCAD or Chicago if I get into those places. But this really changed the game for me, was getting that scholarship. And it was actually kind of heartbreaking to email them and say, you know, I committed to another school, and say no to that really amazing scholarship. But hopefully they did give it to someone else. Now I'll go to Chicago. Chicago was the second school that I got into. I got, you know, a package that included my acceptance letter, blah, blah, blah. And I also got a scholarship. Now, it was a merit-based scholarship that they decided to give me based off of this, like my test scores, the overall skill level that my portfolio conveyed. And this one was also a big scholarship. And it blew me away again. It was like, I believe it was, for the first 3 years, it was $17,000, and then the last one I think was like $18,000. So almost $20,000 a year, almost $80,000 in total. And this blew my mind again. My mind was blown twice over. My mind was blown squared. And so I was like, oh, holy shit, you know, if Ringling really falls through, I've got options, man. I almost didn't really even care about UT Dallas anymore, just because out of all of the schools I applied to, their program for animation, you know, though it's a really good one if you are considering applying to animation schools, and you are looking for, you know, less expensive, if you're in Texas, it's a good in-state option. Schools, UT Dallas, 100% I recommend. Now, I didn't get accepted into Ringling until December. I already had some financial aid for Ringling before, because like I said, I did pre-college. Now, I was very honored. For pre-college, they do, I believe, 12, and in the year that I did pre-college, they did 12 scholarships that were, I believe, $5,000 each to your first year at Ringling if you get accepted and decide to go. And so I got I believe it was like the Student Leadership Initiative Scholarship, which was only given to 2 students, and I was one of them, which was an amazing honor. I was maybe if I'm confident enough, I'll put on the screen the picture of me crying immediately after getting that award, because holy hell, that blew my mind, getting that. Even though it's a small scholarship, it was like so much of an honor to be recognized in that way. It was definitely something that really, you know, solidified, you know, this school is special to me and I really want to go. So it was very exciting when I did get in. I did get more financial aid from Ringling, not as much as the other schools, which definitely made me think a little harder about what school I attended. It's definitely, you know, something important to consider. I got a Dean Scholarship to Ringling, so it's a recurring $10,000 a year, so in total $40,000 plus the $5,000 for my first year. So in total $45,000 in financial aid from Ringling. Even though this scholarship was significantly less than the other ones, it was definitely better than not getting anything at all. And the reason I chose this school instead of the other ones was just because out of all the schools I applied to, this school had the best animation program. Not even just my opinion. Overall, it is one of the best animation schools in the world. So it was a really big honor for me to be able to get in. I'm excited to be part of this program. I will say right now, college is not a must-do. If you're wanting to go into animation but you don't want to do college, just, you know, jump in. Make connections with other animators. Watch YouTube videos. There are so many resources online. I'm doing it because I really wanted the college experience, and I have the means and the ability to. which I'm very fortunate for. But it's not it's definitely not 100% you need to go to college to be successful in any creative career. I think that there are a lot of things that you can, teach yourself. I decided to go to Ringling. That was my final choice. I had to email the other schools and be like, I'm sorry, I'm gonna have to decline your acceptance. And I also recommended that they spread the love, distribute the wealth of my scholarships that I did not accept to other people that were accepting. So hopefully they did that. In about a month, I'm going to Ringling. I'm really excited. I might do like a vlog of me moving in, though I'm not like super famous or anything. But who knows, it might be fun to do a vlog of, the orientation, moving in. I'm really excited to decorate the dorm room. Let me know if you have any questions in the comments about my college experience, what it was like applying to colleges. I'm going to include in the description some of the resources that I used while setting up my portfolio, including, Ringling, their recommendations for a portfolio depending on what major you're applying to, and the line of action and some other figure drawing websites that I use to do my figure drawings, because not everybody has access to a physical, with a real model, and they're in a classroom doing gesture drawings and stuff like that. Not everybody has access to that, so it's a really good resource. I'm also going to include links to all of the schools that I applied to, as well as maybe a list of schools, art schools, best art schools in the country. My Instagram, I believe, is linked in the description. You feel free to DM me with any questions you have about applying, about doing a portfolio, about Ringling, about myself, about really anything. Feel free to DM me. And yeah, hope this video isn't crazy long. It probably is, and if it is, I'm sorry. But I hope it was entertaining. I hope you learned something. I know I did. I know that I talked for way too long, and I should have just gotten to the damn point. Let me know if you have any video suggestions that you'd like me to do. All right, have a great day, guys. Thank you for looking at my portfolio with me. I hope this inspires you if you're having trouble putting together your own portfolio, and I really hope that this helps you overall with your college application journey if you are applying to colleges. And if you apply and you this was helpful, in the comments tell me where you're applying, and if you got in, tell me if you got in, and I'd love to congratulate you. And who knows, if you apply to Ringling and you get in, I'd love to say hi if you're watching this. So yeah, all right, have a good day, guys. Thanks for watching. I'm gonna have a hell of a time editing this because it's 45 freaking minutes.